Okay. Overall, this job was pretty simple. You're already familiar with spark plugs. You told me about you changing them on another vehicle you had. But I still try to make videos for every customer I have. Give them an idea of what's going on, and at least I can on the oil pressure sensor bit. And yeah, that crank sensor, it wasn't that thing up there. In fact, I'm thinking that might be a coolant temperature sensor because looking at it more, it looks like it goes up into the water pump. But yeah, the crank sensor is all the way on the bottom, like towards really on the other side. The bottom of that side on the back, right above the starter, so I drop that down. Which, I mean, that's not just too bad. That's why there's the little additional charge, because, I mean, even for just changing an alternator, I would charge more than I normally would for just pulling a sensor off. And whereas I didn't truly change the starter, I might as well have. I could have just, done it right then if it needed it, but of course it didn't. But yeah, your oil pressure sensor, see the very back of this, it's actually going to be on the back of this engine. Like, I want to be able to see it. And dude had special tools just the right length. I went and checked. He was even talking about your normal oil pressure sensor sockets, which I have, that they won't fit back there, so I'd have to get a special tool. So yeah, it'd probably be a while of plan. I'd have to find a way to really get myself up in back here, get stuff out of the way, and then get a tool that'd be just the right length. So it's going to take a little work to figure out. But again, it is really only to tell you what your oil pressure is. Some cars don't even have gauges, and they don't even tell you anything unless it's so low it causes the light to trip. So as long as you know your vehicle is getting oil pressure, you're fine. It's just that the sensor is not going to tell you properly on the gauge, which I think it is even reading bad now, because it's not reading 0, but it does seem like it's reading lower than standard. But yeah, it won't hurt the vehicle any, and the truck seems to be running very smooth now. So yeah, once you when you get an opportunity and want to maybe leave it here schedule for an actual full day where you pick up the next day, and I can gladly do that. I'm not going to charge a lot. It's not that's necessarily going to be difficult in terms of physical labor. It's just going to be figuring out the space. Just one of those things where it's just crammed into a little corner. So yeah, that's what you got going on there. And I don't see much of anything else. You've got one ABS code, if I understood it right, it has something to do with traction control. I'll be researching that more and see what might need to be replaced or what's wrong, but it doesn't seem to be causing the vehicle any problems. The engine itself seems to be in real fine shape. I didn't really see any problems there. I mean, your spark plugs were due, but that's why you went ahead and got new ones, I'm sure. Plus, I saw you had that misfire on cylinder 1, according to the codes. And they did look a little worn out, but they weren't just terrible. All your parts seem to be functional. Your belt and your pulleys seem to be in real good shape. So yeah, you seem to be in pretty good shape overall. I don't think there's much of anything in the engine to worry about except for that oil pressure sensor. And then of course an alignment for the tires. Check with Gateway. I usually go to them. They're real good about being honest and good prices on alignments.